Good morning, Amy.
Morning, John. How are you?
Good, how are you?
Good. Thank you for having me.
So to start, why don't you introduce yourself and the team that supports the strategy?
My name is Amy Hodder. I am a portfolio manager on our Sustainable Core strategy, and I lead our sustainable investing efforts on the fixed income team. The core fixed income landscape, there's a lot of ground to cover. I work with a very collaborative and talented team of analysts that cover various sectors, asset classes, and expertise. I work with other portfolio managers and traders that we all ultimately share the same goal of delivering performance and impact for our clients.
From there, describe the Sustainable Core Fixed Income Strategy's investment philosophy.
We aim to deliver a fixed income strategy that generates income and attractive risk-adjusted returns through the economic cycle. We believe that we can do so while also producing environmental and social impact. There's a strong alignment of integrating sustainable factors within our fundamental analysis, particularly within fixed income. Fixed income bond performance, there's an inherent asymmetry. Our upside is capped while downside risk in the event of default is significant. And having this additional information to make better investment decisions through a different lens of risk really just aids in our ultimate goal of providing better risk-adjusted returns.
So let's dig a little deeper. Talk a bit more about the differentiating characteristics of the investment approach.
We take a dynamic approach to asset allocation. Our research process and the depth of our research allows us to be flexible and nimble in different market environments. It also aligns very well with our approach to sustainable investing. We've created very differentiated frameworks within various asset classes and sectors, even the ones that are a little bit more nascent, like securitized and sovereigns, which leads me to my second point. We've been very intentional about how we've built out our expertise in this space. We have a sustainable investing analyst team that sits alongside our fundamental team and is embedded within our fixed income team. They work alongside each other every step of our investment process. And it really aids in making better investment decisions. I'd say the third one is we're benchmark aware, but we're not beholden to the benchmark. It's very important for us to understand the characteristics of our benchmark and what our clients expect us to deliver. But the way that we get there, we don't feel that we need to have the same exact exposures as our benchmark.
So briefly describe the investment process.
The foundation of our process is really how we deliver risk-adjusted returns, and it's rooted first and foremost on where we think we are in the economic cycle. That really dictates our asset allocation and how we're allocating capital across various fixed income sectors. In terms of the day-to-day research process, as I mentioned, we have our sustainable analyst team that sits alongside our fundamental analyst team across all sectors, and they work side by side with each other across every step of the investment process, from idea generation to the analysis, to potential engagement with the issuers if necessary, to pitching names to the portfolio managers, and ongoing due diligence. And this really is a big differentiator in terms of how we're making those investment decisions.
So now that we've talked about the philosophy and the approach, maybe we dig in a little more on portfolio construction. And what are some of the typical portfolio attributes in the strategy?
So we're flexible and nimble in terms of how we allocate capital across all the various fixed income sectors and ones where we think we can generate the most alpha, and we will redeploy and shift asset allocation as necessary and as the market economics do change. In terms of the typical attributes of the strategy, first and foremost, we always aim to out-yield our benchmark. The second consideration in terms of duration, obviously it plays a large role within the fixed income universe. However, we really aim to drive our performance through bottom-up security selection. But in terms of duration, we do target a range of anywhere plus or minus 1 year of duration of our benchmark. In terms of tracking error, we target about a 1 to 4% of our benchmark as well.
So bringing it all together, how does the strategy perform in different market environments?
One of our largest objectives is to protect on the downside in down markets. And so when we think that we are in a slowdown phase in the economic cycle, we will be positioned very defensively, and that means we will have less exposure to riskier assets or credit-sensitive sectors. And in some periods of those times that we have seen, risk assets will rally, and we may see some intermittent underperformance. And while we're never comfortable underperforming, during those periods of times we can stomach it because we know if the tides were to turn, we are positioned defensively, which ultimately is going to be better for the strategy and ultimately our clients.
With all that being said, why invest in the Sustainable Core Fixed Income strategy?
Beyond just the general dynamics of investing in a core fixed income for stability and income, we believe that there's changing demographics, climate change. There's so many other factors that are affecting the ever-changing investment landscape, and these considerations are extremely important in terms of how we're making investment decisions, particularly managing downside risk. We also think within fixed income there's a compelling opportunity to be a part of the solution, helping to lend to issuers and fund some of the solutions that will help address some of these challenges.
And to finish up, why don't you tell us one thing that people might not know about you as an investor?
Sure. So this may seem obvious given the asset class that I'm in, but I prioritize capital preservation. Avoiding and protecting losses is just as important, arguably more important in my world, than making gains.
Amy, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you, John.